And I ended up finding the SMART Scholarship program. I had internships every summer where I came here, and the program allowed my internships to be fully involved. It wasn't like at every internship I was a full employee already, because they knew when I graduated I was coming back. The SMART Scholarship is a really fantastic opportunity. You start by going online and finding what facilities, DoD facilities, you might be interested in. They want you to both succeed at school and professionally. And so the result of that is mentorship and internships where every summer or during breaks, you come and work at your sponsoring DoD facility, which ends up being your full-time employment after you graduate. So it really sets you up for success so that when you do graduate, rather than learning the ropes, you're already ready to go. So it's been a great education, a great opportunity, and that's another, I guess, benefit to federal employment is they really are supporting your professional development. I'm Nathan Hagan. I am a naval architect here at the Naval Surface Warfare Center. I have the luxury in my group here at Carderock of having a very open workload. I get to do really all sorts of different things, even though we are criteria and risk assessment, which translates to doing flight deck assessments, certification of ship structures. Ultimately, my job primarily is with tool development for new designs and sort of software, computer side of things. One of my interests really is systems engineering. I love processes, I love the procedure and the methods that we use to do things. So the work that I'm doing now supports that in what we call the model-based system engineering approach, where we're basically trying to take traditional naval architecture techniques and turn them into modern computational tools that take advantage of high-power computing that really automate and enable our engineers to work more efficiently. When I was in school and growing up, you would see traditional blueprints of things, right? When you see the way ships are built or a building is built, it's all hand-drawn. But instead of that, we're taking that and turning it into 3D computer models that have extra information included so that the designer can take his design, prototype it on the computer, and then translate that into a product that our production facilities can use without ever putting it on paper. I've always wanted to do this. I grew up sailing on the Chesapeake with my grandparents and my parents, and I grew up right down the street from Carderock here. In high school, during science fair, I won an award from the Navy, and the award of that was a tour here of Carderock. Following on to that, they allowed me to do some research in this exact facility. So in high school, for a science fair, I took submarine models that I made and tested them down this pool. So that was kind of cool. And it really sparked my interest and love of ships and design and engineering and science. And so when I chose what school to go to, I asked people that I knew in the industry, and I asked, where should I go? They all said Webb Institute, which is a school in New York that I then ultimately went to. It's the only school I applied to, and it just was a perfect match for me. I knew about Carderock. The more I thought about it, I was like, I grew up right near Carderock. I loved the facilities. There was something magical that you just couldn't quite describe about the science that was done here. And so I looked for how I might find a job. And I ended up finding the SMART Scholarship Program and applied for that my sophomore year. And it was really kind of a risk because I was the first student from my college to ever actually apply, and then ultimately the first student to ever get the scholarship. And so I was accepted, and it's a strange program because you are hired by a group that you're kind of signing yourself up for a commitment. And ultimately, the person who becomes your supervisor, you really don't know at that point. Really, I guess like any job. But ultimately, it ended up being a really, really good fit. And I had internships every summer where I came here, and the program allowed my internships to be fully involved. It wasn't like at every internship, I was a full employee already because they knew when I graduated, I was coming back. The SMART Scholarship is a really fantastic opportunity. You start by going online and finding what facilities, DoD facilities, you might be interested in. And that's the best way to start, is find, you're interested in employment at the DoD. And then you submit your resume, you submit your accolades and your accomplishments, and you describe why you're interested in working for the DoD. You then outline which locations are your priority of place to go work, and then you interview. If you get past the first round, you interview, and then you cross your fingers and hope you get it. And then once you do, you go through an orientation process where they want you to succeed. They want you to both succeed at school and professionally. And so the result of that is mentorship and internships where every summer or during breaks, you come and work at your sponsoring DoD facility, which ends up being your full-time employment after you graduate. So it really sets you up for success so that when you do graduate, rather than learning the ropes, you're already ready to go. If I could tell my 19-year-old self what to look forward to, I would say that you need to start planning beyond college then. You should have that in mind so that sophomore year doesn't happen in college where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But to say it's okay a little bit that you don't know what is coming. The world is going to change. Your interests will change. And that undergraduates, your undergraduate college career is an awesome opportunity to learn how to learn. But ultimately, you're going to learn just as much working in a great job than you will at school. And so don't be nervous if you get there the first day and you don't know. I have a bachelor's degree in naval architecture and marine engineering, and I actually am continuing my education right now. I have 3 months left for my master's degree in systems engineering, which I'm getting from the Naval Postgraduate School, which conveniently Carderock has funded and sponsored that degree for me. So it's been a great education, a great opportunity, and that's another, I guess, benefit to federal employment is they really are supporting your professional development. And sometimes that doesn't mean it's all in-house. Sometimes it's getting another degree or doing a rotation somewhere else to learn something else in the Navy.